Yo, what is good YouTube? Welcome back to another video, and today we have got a banger for you guys. So I'm just gonna let the video play out and explain it to you all by itself. We are trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of 2025, and only you guys can be the ones to help me get there. There'll be a couple surprises and prizes for you guys once I hit 10,000 subscribers. So the faster you guys get me there, the faster you guys get the surprise. But like I said, this is a banger video, so watch all the way to the end. He's an insane unit. You've probably seen from the title, but he is an absolutely crazy unit. And he's also pretty easy to get, but watch the video and it kind of tells it all, so stick around to the end. As you guys would have seen from the title and the intro to the video, we have got a banger for you guys. I was randomly rolling on my Luffy because I knew that he was going to be the next godly I was going to go ahead and get, and I'm not going to lie, we got super duper insanely lucky. If we go ahead and find him, you will see that the Luffy legendary right here has got glitched on him, and he's already got SSS, SSS, and an S+, which will go to SSS. So the first thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and evolve him, because as you can see, I was grinding and helping other players go ahead and get Luffy. So there's quite a bit of this grind I've already went ahead and done, but I'm not going to lie, it was super easy. So the first thing we need to go ahead and do is get him to Luffy stage 4, which you need the Luffy fist, which you can buy it in the raid shop. You need some Hake essence, which is pretty easy to get, and then of course you need mythic shards, legendary shards, and epic shards. So let's first go ahead and evolve him. There was no evolve animation, but hey, we went ahead and got him. So if we go down and we actually go ahead and unequip this, because that is going to be another video, that is very cool. But as you can see, we got the glitched version here. For the next evolution, we need 20 mythical shards, we need legendary shards, and then we need the Helix of the Sun God. But to craft the Helix of the Sun God, we need to go into the permanent, we need to go into godly trials, and we need to find Luffy the Sun God. As you can see, we have done a lot of these, but we still need to obtain Usopp, we need to obtain Lenji raid, and we need to defeat the boss 25 times with the Luffy stage 4. We need to die to the boss 3 more times, and then we also need to get some more raid tokens. But the first thing we obviously need to go ahead and get is realize, how do we actually get ourselves the Helix of the Sun God? So if we go on over to where the clans are, you guys will see over here that there is going to be a divine crafter, and here is the Helix of the Sun God. So you need the glyph of the Sun God, which you get for doing all of the quests, but then you also need the empty Helix. And if we go over here, the empty Helix allows 50 cosmic essence, we need the ichor vial, and then we also need the 25 mythical shards, and then we also need 100,000 gold. So if we go on into here, as you can see, we don't already have it, but we do have the ichor. But we have everything to craft it, but all we need is we need mythical shards. We need 25, and we currently have 13. But luckily enough for me, there is a couple ways we can actually go ahead and get these. So the first way we can go ahead and get them is from the dungeon shop. So as you can see, the dungeon shop has reset, and then it also resets in another 6 hours. And if we go down here, we can buy 10 mythical shards. So we're going to go ahead and spam by that. And then also we can buy ourselves 10 legendary shards. I'm going to spam by that as well. And then we can also just spend the rest of our money buying these epic shards down here. And then, you know what, let's just spend the rest of the money buying ourselves some trait crystals. And you're probably wondering, but how are you going to get the rest of these mythic shards? So if we go on into the godly shop and we go on down, you can see I can buy 5 mythical shards here. And then if we go into the godly rush, if we go down here, you can see I could buy another 5 mythical shards. But also, if you guys didn't know, this is also a very good method. It's low-key kind of gambling, but it's also a good method. We have got 4 spins here, and we are hoping that it lands on mythical shards every single time. And if it doesn't, that's kind of annoying. But we want 50 random essence, which is always good for evolving characters. We're going to roll again, and we have just missed the mythical shards. We have 2 more left of these, so we're going to go ahead and spin it again, and hopefully it lands on mythical shards, because getting 5 mythical shards will be amazing. But we got ourselves 15 cosmic essence, which we will always take cosmic essence as well, and hopefully some mythical shards from this one. And unfortunately it did go past, and we got some more stat cubes. So if we go on over here now, I believe we do need only 2 more mythical shards, which actually I'm going to go ahead and craft here. So if we go here and we go to 10, we should be able to craft ourselves 2 mythical shards. And then what I need to go ahead and do is get 100,000 money. So I'm going to get back to you guys once I got the 100,000 money. We just went ahead and got ourselves the 101,000 gold that we do need, so we can go ahead and craft the empty Helix. So the only other things we now need mythical shards for is we need it for obviously evolving the Luffy himself, which we need 20 for. And then the other reasons we do need them is if we come down here and we find the Lenji, we also need to go ahead and actually evolve him for the quest. So he does take 5 mythical shards, so we need ourselves another 25 mythical shards, which is kind of annoying because we can only go ahead and get 10 from doing the boss rush, and that is kind of the only way we are going to be able to get them. But hopefully we are able to go ahead and craft ourselves some, because unfortunately I have completed the battle pass fully, so there is no way I'm getting them from there. And the level reward, I don't get another one until I am indeed level 80, giving us another 10 shards. So I'm going to go over now and run into the boss rush, doing the Attack on Titan one and the normal one. I'm going to go ahead and buy myself all the shards I can, including the legendary shards and epic shards, so we are able to go ahead and hopefully craft 15 mythical shards, which is going to be super duper expensive. But hey, I kind of want my next glitched godly unit like right now, because I've got a couple videos to work on, and this will help out so much. Also, I can say his model for Gear 4 is terrible, but what I'm going to go ahead and do, run into boss rush, go ahead and get this done, get the 10 shards we can get, and then we'll continue with the grind on after that. So that was actually pretty easy for us to go ahead and do. So if we go into the Titan rush and we go down, we'll be able to buy ourselves all 5 of the mythical shards we can get from it. Unfortunately, this doesn't sell any legendaries or epics, but gladly for us, this one actually does. And I have accidentally already brought all of the mythical shards, but we can go ahead and buy us the epic ones here, and then we can also go ahead and buy ourselves some of the rare ones as well, just because they can always be made into the ones above. And I don't actually remember buying them. There we go. I didn't remember buying them. And then we can go ahead and buy ourselves some of the legendary ones as well. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and do, just because it is a part of the quest, is we're going to go ahead and evolve the Lenji. Because if we go on here into quests and we go to permanent and godly trials, we will see down here is we've got to attain Lenji raid, meaning you get Lenji raid by actually evolving the epic version you can summon from banner. You go ahead and get this, and then you unlock Lenji raid. So that does put us back on some of our mythic shards, that meaning that we are now having here, that is a very cool model, meaning that now if we go onto the Gear 4, we will see that to go ahead and evolve him, we do need 15, meaning we do have ourselves 35 legendary shards that we can actually try and turn into as many as we can. So I think that is 7 shards, meaning we still actually have quite a long ways to go. So if we go on into here and then we find here and we do 35, that should give us 7 of the mythical shards, and we do actually have 900 commons. So if we go on into here and then we look, we need to make ourselves 8 more mythical shards, and from 50, so then we go 60, 70, 80, 90, we can make 40 of the epic shards. So let's see what 40 of the epic shards is able to get me. So that's able to get me 1, or we can get it into legendaries, which we'll be able to craft up 1 and a little bit more. And then if we go into rares, 426 rares. Does Luffy actually need any rares to go ahead and evolve? He doesn't. So what we can go ahead and do is we can turn 200 of these into 40 epics, and then with 40 epics we can actually go ahead and make some more legendaries. So with 40s we can make 8 more of them. And then if we go on into here and then we see how many extra legendaries we do indeed have for ourselves, is we have 18 more extra legendaries, meaning if we go on into here, we change the quantity of this to 18, go on legendaries, meaning we can get another 3 more mythical shards. And then we can also do the same things with commons, but I don't think I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. So if we go on here, let's see how many more we actually need to go ahead and get ourselves, and we need to get 5 more mythical shards, which we can either go ahead and wait for the daily spin to come back up, which comes back up in 5 hours and 56 minutes, or I can go ahead and do a couple more raids and actually go ahead and buy the legendary ones in here, meaning we can get 1 more mythical shard there, and then we can't actually get any from here. But I'm going to see what I'm going to be able to do and see if I'm going to get those 5 extra mythical shards. But in the meantime, what I can do is do all of these other quests. So the obtain the Usopp and the coins here, and also the killing the boss, can all be done in the same thing, and then dying to the boss is just a bit annoying. So if we go on over here and we go up to the story and infinite, and then we go on over to legend stages and we go to the Oni Island. As you can see, Usopp, I'm on 15 out of the 20 for the pity. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get myself Usopp now, and also try and work on some of the other quests while I figure out how I'm going to get myself that final 5 mythical shards. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that, try and figure it all out, and then I'll go back to you guys, and hopefully we'll be able to get ourselves our second glitched godly unit. Midway through recording, another update went ahead and dropped, but obviously this update is going to be a couple days back from when this video actually goes ahead and gets uploaded. But just before it did actually go ahead and update, we did go ahead and do every single quest. Legit, as I did the last quest, the game went ahead and went into maintenance, and we have been in maintenance for quite a few hours. But what we're going to go ahead and do now is we are just going to spam claim all of these to go ahead and get the glyph of the sun god. And then if we go on over and we go on over to the divine crafter, we go on into here, we will see the helix of the sun god, and we need 5,000 coins. We need the glyph, and then we also need the empty helix. We will go ahead and craft, and guess what, guys, we have just got ourselves the godly glitched Luffy, all S stats. And here we go, we're gonna go ahead and evolve him, and I believe he does indeed have an animation. But here we go, let's go and get our second glitched godly in this game. This has been some insane luck, and don't worry, the videos will only keep getting better. Let's go ahead and evolve him and look at his whole entire cutscene. This is a very cool animation for actually going ahead and upgrading him. He's got impact frames and everything. And there we go, guys. Luffy, Sun, God, Godly. As you can see, he is hybrid SSS, SSS, SSS with glitched. And we're going to go ahead and equip him on our team. And we also got some more pearls. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to try and roll a better pearl on him than the 10% damage. We do have quite a few. So let's try and get glorious or try and get something better. Annihilation is pretty good, but let's try and see if we can get anything better. If we do efficiency, we don't need that. That's not what we need. Come on. Nice. 35% strength. We've only got one pearl left, so I think it's the best we're going to be able to do. And then what we're going to go ahead and do is we are also going to try and feed him and see if we can, you know, auto add and get him all the way up to level 65 with all the food that we do have. And on placement, he is doing 4.81 million, which is insane. And also at max upgrade, he's doing 144 million. Bear in mind, he is not max level yet, but he is absolutely insane. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on into an infinite, and I'm just going to show you guys basically what he goes ahead and does. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into that right now. What better map to showcase Luffy than on his own map, the Oni Island? And first off, I just want to show the blessing. I wish in this game they did have the options to not actually have to wear the clothes, because I'm not gonna lie, I low-key like my merch, and also, you know, but the abilities on this is sick, and also what it does to my eyes is also amazing, and I do really like the floating. So I'm gonna show you guys what SSS glitched Luffy can actually go ahead and do. Like I said, he's not max level, but he does insane amounts of damage. So on placement, he is doing 5.39 million, with the first upgrade being decently cheap. He is a pretty expensive placement, but hey, he's a godly. Then he goes to 12.5 million, then he goes to 24, and then he actually doesn't get an ability for quite a while. Then at his 30,000, he gets the Defeater's Aura, which turns it into a full AoE attack, which is a very, very cool. All I know is that he does have an ability, and I know it does have a full-on cutscene to go ahead and do. He does look pretty expensive to actually go ahead and max upgrade. Like I said, I've got 2 farms down. I've been letting it go for quite a while. And then from 93 million all the way to 136 million for the upgrade 10, he gets the Ominori. Like I said, guys, I haven't watched One Piece, all of it, so sorry if I do butcher these names. But then he turns to just a big circle AoE, and that is a very, very cool attack. Does he actually go ahead and do anything, or is it just an attack? So he jumps up in the air and he throws a lightning bolt, I believe, which is very, very cool. I always do love the VFX and what units always look like, and I feel like they have done an amazing job with this model. And then 300,000 is pretty expensive, and then 500,000, so he's around the same price as Beast Gohan down here to actually go ahead and max out, whereas Beast Gohan's actually still a little bit more expensive, even though he's not a godly. But all godlies are getting reworked, so hopefully it does do the justice for godlies, because right now a lot of other units are out DPSing godlies, but that's kind of crazy. But that's a topic for when they next update the game. So 161 million every 4.46 seconds with an 86.2% range. Remember, he is not level 85, but he is indeed level 66. And then if we go into the info, and then his passives are when this unit gets stunned, dodged, stun, and gain 15% of damage buff and a 10% range buff for 30 seconds. Enemies whose HP is below Luffy's damage are slowed by 10% for 5 seconds. Enemies whose HP is above Luffy's damage receive 10% more damage, meaning he's very good for bosses because he does more damage to bosses. And then also when the boss does get below whatever his damage is, it will also slow him down too. And then his ability, so we've got the Exceed Imagination. Upon activation, gain 25% damage and 25% range for 30 seconds. After this effect ends, lose minus 10% damage for 30 seconds, and then it's got a 240-second global cooldown. and then it deals 110 billion damage plus 20% of the current enemy HP, including bosses, to all enemies. All enemies hit receive 50% increased critical damage for 100 seconds with a 1000 global cooldown. So let's go ahead and actually look at the ability for the Exceed Imagination. Does anything happen? And unfortunately nothing does happen, but for Ultimate Gun I believe there is an animation. So if we go ahead and use this, there should have been an animation that did happen, but I think I may have just ruined it, because I think I do have the cutscenes turned off. I don't know how I did it, but I do have cutscenes. I must have them turned off. A table item animation? No, I'm not too sure then. There is definitely a cutscene for him, and it does happen because when I've been streaming, there is a little cutscene animation. He basically just jumps up in the air and does a big slam down attack. But yeah, I would say he's definitely worth it. He's very much easier to get than Sun Jin Woo was. So I would say if you want to go for any of them and you have decent units to be able to go ahead and do the stage, then Luffy is actually a pretty easy unit to get. Like with most godlies, the hardest part was the mythical shards, and also he does a very high amount of damage. He's like one of the highest damages. I know obviously I got glitched on him, but he is still insanely good. But I will still suggest Sun Jin Woo, but like I said, Sun Jin Woo is a lot harder to get, but Luffy is a very good option, and he is one of the easier godlies to get. But we're going to end off the video here. It's been an amazing video. Thank you for sticking around all the way to the end, and the videos will only get better and better from here. We are starting to not be a noob anymore, and we are starting to be one of the better players. But if you did make it to the end of the video, you must like my content, and if you're not subscribed and you didn't like this video, please do it. It's free. It helps me out so much. Like I said, trying to hit 10,000 subscribers before the end of this year. But it's been Zez, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Turn on those notifications to get notified when I post more bangers. Peace out, and ciao.